This is CBC Here and Now.
The Pfizer vaccine has started to roll out across the country, with the first Canadians getting their shots today.
An area of low pressure is going to skirt south of the Avalon as we head through the next day, and it's going to bring some rain, snow, and wind.
And that first snow here in the provincial capital has made it feel pretty Christmassy here on Angel Place.
Thanks so much, Anthony. Well, we begin with a tragedy on the province's highways this weekend that has claimed a second life. Police say a 15-year-old girl who was injured in the two-vehicle collision Saturday has died. She was a passenger in a pickup truck that was hit by a car on the Trans-Canada Highway near Goobies. Police say the driver of the other vehicle died at the scene. He was driving a Honda Civic that crossed the center line and into the path of the pickup truck. Police say the investigation is continuing and also involves the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Well, police are looking for a family who arrived in this province last week but haven't been heard from. A couple and their child were last spotted in Corner Brook in their white pickup truck with Ontario license plates. Now, the family was driving to central Newfoundland from Ontario. Police are looking for 42-year-old Regan Fernandez, 35-year-old Nicole Fernandez, and their 9-year-old son Elijah. Police say the family is driving a 2001 Ford F-350 diesel pickup truck and is towing a utility trailer. Police say they haven't heard from them and they're concerned for their well-being. It's an Ontario license plate. The number is AZ55051. Well, some good news today. Officials have tracked down the source of all of the cases of COVID-19 on the West Coast. And today, some of the first Canadians received the vaccine. So when will the vaccine arrive in this province? Here in Peter Cowan is live with the details. So Peter, let's start on the West Coast. On Friday, we heard about a staff member in a school who tested positive. What more do we know about that case?
Carolyn, health officials and school officials have been tight-lipped about any of the details. So they haven't confirmed, for example, which schools are involved or even the communities, although CBC News can tell you that the schools are in the Stephenville area. And the good news with this case is on Friday they weren't sure the source of this, but over the weekend they were able to confirm that this case is connected to someone who had traveled. But why aren't they releasing more information to many parents who are worried in the area? Well, the answer today from Dr. Janice Fitzgerald is they don't believe that there is a large health risk here because the exposure happened a while ago.
The risk was actually had actually passed with regard to exposure time, and so it was more about, the testing was more about just trying to find sources and to make sure there was no onward transmission, but that we were past past incubation periods and things like that. So this is so in that situation, up to this point, where all the testing that's been done up to this point has not revealed any onward transmission at all.
There is also an important update to a case they announced on Saturday, which was another positive that they couldn't find the source for. Well, why was that? Turns out the person doesn't actually have COVID. They did further testing and they managed to find that this person was in fact negative. Carolyn?
Okay, well, Peter, the first vaccine shipments have arrived in Canada. What's the updated timeline on when we might receive it?
Yeah, we've seen those first injections happening in Ontario as well as Quebec today. And the latest in this province is it's probably going to be a few more days. In Toronto, we saw there it was worker of a long-term care home who received the first dose there. And in Quebec, we saw it was a resident of a long-term care home in Quebec City. When are we going to see those similar scenes in this province yet? We don't really have a firm timeline. We're expecting the doses to arrive this week, and then they're going to be administered shortly after that. And the media may not get to see scenes like this. The minister says he's not convinced that there's much public value in providing media access to see events like this. Now, some public health experts have disagreed, saying that this normalizes the procedure, especially at a time when a lot of people may be hesitant to get the vaccine because it's brand new, using new technology. The health minister said today he's willing to look at some of that evidence, and they may reconsider it before those first vaccines are rolled out here. Carolyn?
Thank you, Peter. Looking at the snowfall from yesterday, quite a bit of snow fell, 18 centimeters in St. John's. Mount Pearl saw just a little bit less than that at 16. As we head towards the west coast, though, 9 centimeters in Stephenville, and Gander saw about 7 centimeters of snow. Now, that has since ended. We are seeing some flurries, but we're looking at temperatures today hovering around the 0-degree mark for the island, or rather for St. John's, and then a little cooler as you head towards central Gander, sitting at -2. Chilly up through Labrador, -10 was the afternoon high in Lab City. So we do have a little bit of an area of low pressure right now, sparking some flurries for the west coast. That will generally continue as we head through the overnight tonight. Then we're watching this next system that's moving in, prompting a number of warnings across the island. Wind warnings, winter storm warnings, snowfall warnings, but I will break all of those down for you when I come back.
When you're a drug addict, all that matters is the high.
He went from doing these things for the rush and the fun to, I need this.
I had gone out looking for cocaine and ended up being fentanyl.
But when the high is too hard to find, there's the crash.
I kicked open the door. He was sitting on the toilet, a piece of rubber wrapped around his arm. He was pale, not responsive.
This week on Here and Now, a real-life look at how drugs harm people, good people, and we ask, is putting drug addicts behind bars enough?
If you take a drug-addicted person and you put them into the penitentiary, they don't get the mental health support they need.
Well, there's another cabinet minister answering questions about their involvement in the controversy surrounding former minister Sherry Gambin-Walsh. The PCs say the premier should get to the bottom of conflicting accounts of a conversation between Tourism Minister Bernard Davis and the RNC's chief of police. Here Now's Mark Quinn reports.
A court document says Minister Bernard Davis called RNC Chief Joe Boland on March 10th to ask him how the investigation into former Cabinet Minister Sherry Gambin-Walsh was going. But today at the House of Assembly, Davis said that is wrong.
All I can say is that that wasn't a part of the discussion at all. It was talking about, in general terms, how he was doing, because I could hear through the media and other sources that he was having a hard time within the police force.
The court document says Davis knew about the police investigation into Gambin-Walsh before it became public in April. But Davis says he didn't know about it in March when he called Boland. The opposition party is asking who is right and calling on Premier Fury to take action.
So one of them is not telling the truth here. And this is a very grave situation. It's either the chief of police or it's a minister of the Crown. The Premier has a responsibility to figure out who it is.
Months ago, the RCMP said there were no grounds to charge Sherry Gambin-Walsh. Today, when the RCMP was asked if it's investigating this matter, it confirmed it is assessing information it has received, but it didn't elaborate. Crosby says if Davis is being investigated by the RCMP, then Davis should be removed from cabinet.
That's all speculative. Like, I wouldn't stand here and make decisions on the future based on speculation. This is all happening actively. I'm not aware of even if there is an investigation. Perhaps you are, but I'm not. So that would be premature to say anything like to that in that respect. But I will say this: I hold my ministers to a high standard.
As for Chief Boland, the RNC says he's unable to provide further discussion as this is related to an ongoing investigation. The police force didn't say which ongoing investigation it's referring to. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, still in the House of Assembly, amendments to the Pension Act just passed. The changes will allow people facing financial hardship to access money in certain locked-in accounts. Now, the amendments were supposed to pass through the House last week, but independent MHA Perry Trimper delayed the process. As Here and Now's Heather Gillis reports, that angered at least one person hoping to unlock their money.
Throughout the night I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning and thinking about it.
Terry Hewland was watching closely last week to see if legislation allowing people to unlock money from certain pension funds would be passed through the House of Assembly. When it didn't, the substitute teacher got anxious.
My income waxes and wanes a little bit each year. This year it went down significantly because of the pandemic.
Hewland says he's eligible to unlock money because of his low income. He says he doesn't want to unlock a lot, just enough until he transitions to a new job. But Hewland was disappointed last week when MHA Perry Trimper delayed the pension process when he wasn't given time to ask a question about flooding in Mud Lake first.
Initially I was in shock. I was very surprised and extremely disappointed. And just throughout the evening I got very sad. And as the night went on I started to feel angry.
So angry that Hewland wrote Trimper expressing his frustration.
I thought that was very unfair to bring up an issue of such grave importance for another group and to pit two groups against one another and conflate two separate issues. I thought that was very tactless on Mr. Trimper's part.
The honourable member for Lake Melville.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank this House of Assembly for the opportunity.
Trimper was granted time in the House of Assembly today to ask a question about flooding in his district.
Minister responsible for digital government services.
After that false start today, he and other MHAs agreed to begin debating the proposed changes to pension legislation. If the amendments pass, the province says unlocking would begin in March at the earliest. There are 894 types of locked-in retirement accounts in the province, but the province doesn't track how many people have these types of accounts, and it's not clear exactly how many people will be eligible to withdraw money from them. Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, Health Minister John Haggie is apologizing for comments he made in the House of Assembly last week. Haggie was answering a question about the province's medical travel assistance program when he said this.
And I would argue there is discrimination in favour of Labradorians. They get $1,000 up front for their airfare.
Now, patients in Labrador have to travel to the island for certain procedures and treatments. There is financial help from the province, but critics of the program say it barely covers one round trip for a medical appointment. Haggie has since apologized. He says the province is looking at ways to offset the effects of the pandemic on travel costs, including whether federal COVID-19 relief money can be used for the medical travel program.
We have independently, outside the Department of Health, but with some input from us, been working with both the airlines and the airports and the federal government to see what we can actually do about airfares, because they've doubled across the province.
Well, an investigation into a rat problem in Pasadena has finished. The Farm Industry Review Board says the province didn't do anything wrong. Last spring, hundreds of rats were attracted to a field of barley, which had been abandoned by a provincial government research team. Now, the rats bred, infested parts of the town, and even got into some vehicles and chewed out the wiring. A report by the Industry Review Board found the research project used acceptable farm practices. According to the farmer who owns the land, there are no plans to lease out that parcel of land for more research projects, and he says grass seed has been planted in the area, meaning there won't be a food source for any unwanted rodents come spring. Well, a fighter from this province won his third straight UFC match on Saturday night. Gavin Tucker is originally from Ship Cove and is now based in Halifax. He won by unanimous decision over American Billy Q. The two were originally supposed to fight in April, but it was delayed twice due to the pandemic. The 34-year-old has now won 4 of his last 5 fights.
Any idea of fight?
And in hockey news, the final roster has been named for Team Canada at the World Junior Championship, and 2 players from this province have made the cut. Forward Alex Newhook of St. John's has been selected to play for Team Canada, and so has forward Dawson Mercer of Bay Roberts. And there is one other Newfoundland connection to this year's tournament. Team therapist Brian Cheeseman is from Mount Pearl. The 11-day tournament starts Christmas Day in Edmonton. Well, Ashley, before we go to a little break, we have an update on our Feed NL fundraiser. We have a new total to share with you.
Yeah, every year Here and Now helps raise money for the Community Food Sharing Association by hosting a live special, and even more money has been brought in since our show on Friday.
Yeah, so the total raised is now near $220,000. Another $25,000 was donated over the weekend by the group Canada Helps.
Yeah, and the campaign isn't over yet. You can donate until New Year's Eve by visiting cbc.ca/bekind and help feed the hungry in our province. Now on to Anthony.
Sort of amazing kind of good spirit doesn't put you in the holiday spirit. I don't know what will. Here we are at Angel Place. Great time for Christmas.
Ashley's here now to look at the weather forecast, and Anthony is out tonight. Before the break, we checked in with him, and it looked really nice outside in St. John's. All the snow down. It's very pretty, very postcardy.
It was last night too, and all that snow was falling. We've got about 18 centimeters here in St. John's, and temperatures today have been hovering around the 0 degree mark. Well, a little warmer than that earlier, but that's where we're sitting now. 0 degrees and temperatures into the minus single digits through Central, and then minus 11 in Lab City right now. So if we're taking a look at the future tracker, as far as weather goes tonight, we're looking at the potential, or some flurries or light snow for most of the island and up through southeastern portions of Labrador as well as Central. And as we head through the night, then we're going to start to see a developing area of low pressure just skirt south of the Avalon tonight, and that is going to bring some periods of rain, which could be heavy at times for parts of the Avalon as well as through the Burin Peninsula. Other than that, anything to the west of that should stay as flurries overnight tonight, but temperatures will be climbing. So sitting around 3 degrees in St. John's by the time we get to the morning hours. That's why everything that's going to fall will fall as rain. Winds will be about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, easing as we head to the west. But temperatures much cooler up through Lab City, sitting around minus 21 tonight. And then with a little bit of a wind chill in there as well, with your winds upwards of about 15 kilometers per hour. As far as that rainfall goes, we're looking at about 10 to 20 millimeters. Maybe extreme southeastern portions may pick up a little bit more than that. So if you haven't cleaned up the snow, get out and do that now, or else it's going to be cement pretty much by the time we head through tomorrow afternoon. Here's what we should see Tuesday through the day. Once that area of low pressure heads offshore, everything in behind that should be snow or change over to some snow for southeastern portions of the island. And then the winds are really going to ramp up, and that's because that area of low pressure is going to intensify as it heads offshore. And then we start to get into this snow squall setup on Wednesday, late Tuesday into Wednesday, with plenty of snow for western portions and as well up through Labrador. So here's a look at the warnings. Wind warnings for the southeastern portion, or rather the Avalon and most of eastern Newfoundland. Then we've got a winter storm warning for most of the west coast, and then snowfall warnings for southeastern portions of Labrador. Here's where you'll be sitting temperature-wise. 1-2 degrees tomorrow. Winds will be strong into the afternoon, but even more so as we head through the day. Just want to show you that, time that out for you. So this is Tuesday afternoon. There you go, that 60 to 70 kilometer per hour winds, and then they ramp up even more overnight into Wednesday morning, with widespread areas seeing anywhere from 90 to 100 kilometer per hour wind gusts. And with those strong winds, some storm surge is certainly possible in those coastal areas for sure as we head into Wednesday as well. And as far as that snowfall goes, combined with the winds, is why we're seeing those winter storm warnings, because this takes us through to Wednesday morning. Anywhere from 30 to 50 centimeters is possible in the higher elevations. Otherwise, we're looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 centimeters, certainly possible for areas along the west coast and up through most of Labrador as well. And then even more snow falling through the day on Wednesday. So a long duration event, but it will be fairly significant. Again, winds are going to stay strong as we head through the day on Wednesday, but temperatures are going to drop right back below zero, well below zero in some cases. -5 for Corner Brook, -19 in Lab City. You're going to just stay in the cold air, not so much flurry activity. That's mainly for the rest of the big land. -9 for Happy Valley, Goose Bay. And as we head into Thursday, that area of low pressure finally moves off and things will look a little bit better. So the potential for a few flurries will stick around through the first half of the day, but then we should see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures again below zero to -2, -3 degrees. And then again, that colder air continuing for Lab City, about -19 through the day on Thursday, -6 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and then temperatures below zero again for southeastern portions as well. After that, it is going to stay a little bit unsettled in the east. The potential for flurries will certainly stick around Friday and Saturday, with the temperatures hovering around the 0 degree mark. For Central, you're looking at the potential for a few flurries on Friday, but Saturday looks nice with some sunshine. The snow squall potential will continue for most of western Newfoundland again Wednesday into Thursday, and then eventually taper to some flurries. And then Friday looks like some sunshine. Maybe a few flurries will move back in as we head into Saturday. But again, temperatures staying below zero for most of next week, really. Eastern Labrador, you're looking at flurries or light snow Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday things start to clear out a little bit with the potential for some sunshine, certainly on Saturday. But overall, temperatures will be back well below zero, minus double digits, and overnight lows into the minus teens as well. Nice because of, we're getting into some of that area of a ridge of high pressure for western Labrador, so temperatures will be cold, but plenty of sunshine, and then the potential for some showers, or rather flurries, at minus 11 for Saturday for you in the west. Wanted to share this beautiful photo of the lights that we've been sharing for the Mun's Merry and Bright contest. This one is in St. John's. Blair sent this one in. If you have any that you'd like to bring to the contest, visit Mun Botanical Facebook page, and if you'd like to send us any, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Thanks, Ashley. And we have more lights to share with you now. You know, lots of people are putting up their holiday decorations, and some displays are much more elaborate than others. And Anthony, you're live at one house that's been lighting up the neighborhood for years.
Yeah, certainly you can definitely see the lights here at Angel Place, and Peter Adams and Eleanor Fillier join me now to talk about why it's such a big deal. Peter, I'll start with you. You're the architect of this decoration?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
25 years plus.
Right. And so why do you put so much effort in this?
Just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
The grandkids and their children.
Right.
And so hope they come down and do it yourselves too.
And not only are there a lot of decorations up there, but you actually made most of those, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Good part of them, about half of them.
And you get up there on a ladder and put them up there yourself?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Got to.
You got to?
Yes, no one else do it.
No one else will do it?
Nope.
So, Eleanor, do you watch them go up the ladder and see them?
Well, I have no other choice to make sure you don't fall. Oh. Right? I have no other choice.
Can I just turn you towards the cameras there? Because you got this sort of nice Christmassy outfit there. So you take care of him as he's actually decorating the place, do you?
I try to.
All right.
My best.
You managed to get up to, you said you start doing this when?
I'd say 25 years plus.
Right, no, but I mean you start doing this like right after?
Oh, after Halloween.
That's a long time ago.
Well, time to get up there and get off work and put a few hours in, long weekends, up and down the ladder.
Right, and do you have many people coming up Angel Place taking a look? And
oh yes,
snapping
taking pictures. Yes, they do.
Right.
Doing it for weeks now.
How's it been different in the pandemic? Because I'm told usually there's actually quite the village inside there too.
Well, it used to be one time, but since this is on the go, just slacking out, right? Because nobody's going to come around inside the house because of the virus, right?
We're not supposed to.
No.
Right.
They won't even bother
So
this
maybe next year. So
maybe.
Where does he store all this? Because obviously you've only got so much space.
Well, right underneath that deck, he'll keep a lot, and on back in his garden in the shed, thing.
Yeah.
In the basement.
In the basement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What, you have a favorite one up there?
No, they're all, I like all of them. No.
They're all equally popular.
Oh yes. If they weren't favorite, they wouldn't be there.
Well, listen, I hope you both have a great Christmas.
Yes, sir.
And
Same to you.
it's not too cold out here.
But it's not only Christmas, though. It's Easter,
Yeah.
Canada Day, right? Halloween, the houses,
He does something for
all
each
of
and
it.
every time, right?
All of it.
All right.
Keep it in spirit.
Pardon me?
Gotta keep it in spirit.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's nice to have a place to come and celebrate, try and get rid of that pandemic in our thoughts, and
Yes.
And it's
enjoy
too
the
bad
splendor.
Probably one of these years you'll see the inside.
The inside. I hope so.
Yep.
Come back next year if we're lucky.
Yeah,
If
you
the
go. Hope
virus
you're
gone.
Yeah. What's that?
If the virus gone.
If the virus is gone, we'll be here.
Well, no
All right,
problem,
thank
sir.
you very much.
No
All right,
problem,
good
sir.
luck.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. All right, so there you have it from Angel Place, a little bit of Christmas spirit behind me. And of course, if you've got any sorts of pictures of your decorations, send them to us. We'd like to get them on if we can.
Welcome back. Independent retailers in this province face lots of challenges, such as having to compete with giants like Walmart and Costco. And for most of this year, they also had to deal with a global pandemic. But tonight, we'll have a look at one business that's not only surviving, it's thriving. Terry Roberts reports.
Morning, guys. We're ready for the egg?
It's Monday morning at Piper's in St. John's. Co-owner Glenn Skinner is meeting with his team, making sure this week's flyer will attract attention.
This should really help bring the customers into the door.
Discount prices.
Okay, so this is a great item here, like pajama bottom, just $4.99. It's a great idea for a gift item.
A wide selection of products and quality service.
We know our customers.
It's a winning strategy here at Piper's, where the people who source the products work right in the store, where the focus is on keeping expenses low.
So the lower the expense, the less markup you need to take.
Prices are great, so that helps.
And since it's independently owned, there's no pressure to deliver big dividends to shareholders. This owner does not need a private jet, a luxurious villa in the tropics. He's content with a cottage around the bay. Glenn Skinner is hesitant about saying it, but business is booming.
The sales were good as we got into the fall. Yeah. Sales had come up.
What do you mean, though? Were they like, wow, jaw-dropping sales?
To us, I guess, yes.
And that's good news for the 150 employees. There's a health plan, pension plan, a paid holiday on your birthday, and 4 cash bonuses so far this year, up to $500 each time for the long-serving staff.
Staff is Piper's. Without staff, we wouldn't have a company.
I wouldn't be able to go back retail anywhere else. I enjoy Piper's. The management are great to us. The owners have always been fantastic.
It all started with this small store on Water Street 38 years ago.
Then on Water Street, we had London, New York, and Paris. We had the Royal stores. We had the arcade. We had Bon Marché. All those guys are gone now, and we survived. And we survived by keeping our prices as low as possible.
Glenn Skinner began as a store manager, a passion for retail passed down from his parents who operated a corner store.
This means everything to me. This really, over the years, have supported my family, supported the community. It's really my life.
Now he's the chief operating officer.
It's in my blood.
One of the 2 owners of a business that operates 5 locations in St. John's, CBS, and Bay Roberts, with plans to open a new store in Mount Pearl in the spring, with an even grander vision after that.
I'd like to see stores really from here to maybe Grand Falls, Corner Brook, right? If we find the right opportunities and the right rates for rent, we'll continue to move across the island.
No self-checkouts here, just a mask-covered smile, a loyal and growing customer base.
My mother shops here a fair bit. Aunts, uncles all shop here. It's been a store that a lot of the family shopped in for years.
There was a time when some might not admit to shopping at Piper's, but creative advertising. Remember the slogan, "Did I not see you at Piper's?" And the right combination of pricing and products has helped change that.
No, it's not a stigma for me.
There was always a mom store or an aunt store, but now we're getting more younger people into the store because we're more out there into the forefront.
Meanwhile, there's talk of some new mainland competition for Piper's, but Glenn Skinner is not worried.
We expect them, but Target came to Newfoundland, Kmart was here, Zellers was here, Byway was here, Bargain Harold's was here. They're all gone, right? So, they are competition, right? But it's not the big that beats the small, it's the fast that beats the slow.
Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Dozens of people gathered outside the Railway Coastal Museum in St. John's over the weekend to protest its expected closure. Now, the city plans on packing up the exhibits and finding a new use for the building. That will save taxpayers $200,000 next year, but that savings isn't worth it to some.
Well, if this museum closes, you're losing a connection to our whole province. So many facets of our heritage, and there's so much sacrifice and loss and hard work. And unique culture that is just being thrown away in this city of legends. And to me, it's incredible that this is even being considered. Well, from what the mayor says, it seems like it's inevitable, which speaks to, what happened to transparency? Like, why is there no discussion? Why haven't they been opening up front, like ahead with bike lanes, with roundabouts, with with anything like the bike trails. Like there's no public discussion, there's no, oh, we're in trouble, we need help. There's so many questions that aren't being answered, and all the councillors are just giving this blanket one statement and they're towing the line, circling the wagons, and it's incredible that they don't realise how poorly this looks and how many people they've hurt. Like, I know the councillors are good people, and I know that they're in a difficult spot, but they're not being forthcoming. So at the very least, the city needs to stop. Okay, we're sorry, we're human, we made a mistake. Let's talk to people. Let's get an open dialogue here. Let's get some discussion. I think that's the very least that they can do.
Well, St. John's business is using seal flippers to support charity and the seal hunt.
That would be 2 flippers in each back that were actually vacuum packed and done up. So.
Natural Boutique co-owner Carrie Shears teamed up with the group Sharing the Harvest NL to hand out bags of frozen seal flippers on the weekend. Now, the group helps hunters donate and distribute wild game to food banks. Shears says the event was also in response to anti-seal hunt activists who protest outside the store a few times a year. He wanted to show that many local people do support the sealing industry.
Doing it, I guess, against the protesters that have been coming down to our store probably 3 or 4 times a year. They typically come down. There's 4 or 5 of them. There's a lot of Newfoundlanders that support the industry versus 3 or 4 that are against it, I guess. So we came up with the idea where we actually are giving out seal flippers by a donation to a group called Share the Harvest. So it's a wild game food bank group.
We're distributing the seal flippers ourselves, Sharing the Harvest. For monetary donations. We're not selling them, it's very important. We're for a monetary donation and to bring more awareness and everything else to the seal industry.
Well, tonight we're shining the spotlight on locally made ice cream with the final segment in our series, Stuffed. We follow 3 Memorial University students with a passion for food as they check out the St. John's restaurant scene. Tonight, Aoife, Farai, and Columbus are searching for the best frozen treat. They checked out the Newfoundland Chocolate Company, the Parlor, and Sugar Mamas.
Today is going to be sweet. We're heading to 3 places with gelato and ice cream.
We're going to the Newfoundland Chocolate Company, the Parlor, and Sugar Mamas.
Let's get it! So today we're here at the Newfoundland Chocolate Company on Torbay Road. They're well known for their artisan chocolate and bars with Newfoundland sayings.
Like, you got me drove.
Let's go! Anyway, we're actually here to try the gelato, so let's get the scoop on this cool place.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, bye.
Best kind.
No, but what is gelato, to be honest?
It's Italian ice cream.
I was gonna say it's jelly with a toe. Cookie.
But have you actually had gelato though?
Yeah, there's this place back home in Zimbabwe that was actually called Gelato.
So original.
I didn't name it.
That's rich, guys. Gelato from gelato.
Just go bash someone's business on TV. Just go.
I think there's some really interesting flavors here.
What I saw this really good. Is it stracciatella?
Stracciatella.
Stracciatella.
I'm thinking more of the Venezuelan. It was compared to single malt whiskey.
Guys, I love caramel so much. I'm gonna go with the caramel cheesecake.
Stracciatella. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
And Venezuelan. Thank you very much.
You.
First thoughts, what do you guys think?
I love the fact that they put a chocolate on the top. I got a chocolate for free.
I think it looks great. Like, I like the aesthetic already. Guys, I love caramel.
I love the taste of this. I can't really describe it. I'd say I can taste like a bean in it, but I can't recognize it. So I get why it's compared to whiskey, because it has a pungent taste and you can feel it as it goes down your throat.
So on top there's milk chocolate and a white chocolate drizzle. And when you taste it, there's like a crunchiness to it, which I really enjoy. I don't know, the flavor just goes down really easily. The caramel is very prominent.
For starters, this is really rich and creamy. Man, you have tried it out. Like, I can't explain it. It's just so good.
So the owner actually studied with an Italian gelatoist, which is like it's a real word. I'm not even making it up. It's a gelato chef.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she studied under a gelatoist. So that means it's really authentic and it's made fresh every day.
So here at the Parlor on Military Road, right opposite Bannerman Park. They're known for their house-made gelato, baked goods, and their coffee. They opened in 2019, and they've quickly become a hotspot for delicious treats. I got a coconut creme brulee and a ginger peach.
I got the coconut chocolate and I can't see is the London fog.
Oh my gosh.
So I got a coconut creme brulee and the other flavor is vanilla with honeycomb. Oh, that slaps.
I love the chocolate chunk bits. Chocolate is the word of the day.
Guys, I love the look of this like waffle ice cream, and actually everything on here is like homemade. Like the waffle was made right in front. I saw them make the waffle like, right in front of my eyes.
Can I take it out?
Yeah.
Oh, like a sandwich.
So the owner is actually from the UK, and he's been making gelato with his family since he was a little boy. So he's been in this for a minute now.
This consumption method is for high approved.
A feast on the eyes for me. Like it was just visually pleasing. I feel like people love it because they can take Instagram photos of it and just like share with their friends.
I thought it was very good. I love the way that the coconut and the and the caramel sauce were like combining. It was very sweet, and I have a sweet tooth, so I love that.
The creme brulee was very pronounced, but the vanilla was like, you know, subdued it a bit. And then I think mixed with the honeycomb, really like, I love, let me say it again. I love honeycomb. So it was great. The air smells so sweet here, don't you guys agree?
I totally agree.
Well, that's because we're at Sugar Mama's Bakery on Elizabeth Avenue, and they're well known for their inventive cupcakes, but that's a story for another day. Right now, we're gonna go try out their ice cream cookie sandwich. Guys, I feel like we've gone back in time. Like the decor in here is like pretty cool. What do you feel?
It's like nice and retro, don't you think?
I love it. I love it.
Giving me like the Grease Lightning vibes.
It reminds me of a diner.
So as you can see, there are two types of cookie sandwiches. One is the chocolate chip sandwich and one is the boyfriend sandwich.
Why is it called the boyfriend sandwich?
Well, she said it's because it's full of shh. So, third one of the day. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's go, let's get it.
Let's do it.
I'm getting the boyfriend sandwich because, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So this is soft serve made in-house every day, and it's also gluten-free as well as nut-free, and yeah. And they also have a vegan option, which is really inclusive. I like that.
Yeah, like you don't get a lot of places that do that at all.
Before we get far, this cookie is amazing. Like I like the fact that the cookie is soft. It's not too hard. It's still crunchy at the same time, and it complements the ice cream really well. Like they work well together.
I think it's like a classic, you know, vanilla ice cream. Brings me back to like childhood playing in the park.
Honestly, it's messy, but it's worth the mess.
It's a delicious mess.
These cookies are huge. It feels like a meal. I'm actually getting full.
But like,
Yeah, the sugar rush, yep.
You too? Yeah, it got me. Just to recap, we had the Newfoundland Chocolate Company. I thought the ambience was really good.
We went to the parlor as well, which is really, really yummy. The bubble waffle cone. Yeah,
that was cool.
Brilliant.
We went to Sugar Mama's and got to see Ife meet her new boyfriend, which was exciting.
It grew up so quick.
Okay, which one was my favorite? I felt like the parlor was amazing. That waffle was just so fresh and soft, and the ice cream was really great as well.
I'm gonna have to back that up.
For me, my favorite was the Venezuela. I like the fact that all the beans used in the chocolate came from one plantation, and I like that was compared to whiskey.
Yeah, so the Newfoundland Chocolate Company is your favorite?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's great. I'm stuffed. Are you stuffed?
Totally stuffed.
Are you stuffed?
Nah, but scoop, there it is. Scoop, there it is.
Well, that's the final episode in our Stuffed series. But if you enjoyed seeing those MUN students checking out local eateries, you can catch the other installments on our website at cbc.ca/nl.
The pandemic has changed how we're celebrating this December. Many Newfoundlanders and Labradorians won't be home for the holidays. We want to give you a chance to send a letter home. Pull out your smartphone, make sure you hold it horizontally, and record a minute or so greeting to someone you're not going to get to see in person this holidays. You can send it by email to lettershome@cbc.ca. We'll air as many as we can on radio, TV, and online. This Christmas, we can still come together even if we're apart.
Well, we have an update for you now on some news that we brought you earlier in the show about a family of 3 who are traveling on the island from Ontario. Just want to update you that the police say that that family has been located, and it appears there was an issue with the cell phone contact there. So the family has been found. Well, moving on to some international news before Ashley recaps our weather forecast. Voters across the U.S. went to the polls last month to choose their next president, and today a formal vote will confirm Joe Biden's win. Members of the Electoral College will meet in all 50 states and the District of Columbia to cast their ballots.
Sign, and then we'll collect those and give them to the secretary for her to tally.
Now, most states have laws binding their electors to the winner of the popular vote in their state. Joe Biden is expected to receive 306 votes. That's 36 more than the 270 he needs to be declared the U.S. president. Donald Trump is still refusing to concede defeat. Trump has pushed false claims of widespread voter fraud and is still tweeting about overturning the election results. So far, Trump's numerous legal challenges have failed.
I'm just going to take a look at the future tracker just to time out what's going to happen over the next 36 hours. Winds will ramp up as we head through the afternoon tomorrow, but as we head through the night, we are looking at the shower activity, which could be heavy at times for eastern areas of the island. And then we've got all that snow continuing through the day on Tuesday along the west coast and portions of Labrador as well. That area of low pressure is going to strengthen offshore, and that means that the winds are going to pick up even more Tuesday night into Wednesday. As you can see there, 60 to 100 kilometer per hour gusts continuing through most of the day on Wednesday, along with that snow squall activity for the west coast, northern peninsula, and then we're even looking at more snow on the way for the northern portions of Labrador as well. As far as snowfall amounts go, this takes us through Tuesday morning, or Tuesday evening rather, Wednesday afternoon. You can see lots of areas seeing anywhere from 30 to even 50 centimeters of snow.
Messy.
Well, normally this time of year, you can go to the Roman Catholic Basilica in St. John's to see a performance of Handel's Messiah, by the Newfoundland Symphony rather, and local singers.
Yes, now that's not happening this year because of COVID-19, so they recorded a performance at the Basilica without an audience. The NSO is providing free access to the concert to more than 40 seniors' homes and community groups in the province, and for anyone else, they can purchase digital tickets. So as we leave you tonight, here's some of that performance provided by the NSO. Good night.
Good night.